Welcome to Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. We are coming to you from Washington, D.C. We are joined by John Walsh. He is Montana's newest United States Senator. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Brad.
You
Appreciate
went
it very
from
much.
running the National Guard in Montana to Lieutenant Governor to U.S. Senate in, 13 months?
Yeah, it happened pretty quick, yes.
How do you feel?
I'm honored to be able to continue serving the citizens of Montana. Like I said, from the National Guard, the Adjutant General position, I served in the National Guard for 33 years, focusing on taking care of the men and women who serve, to Lieutenant Governor, broadening the expectations, and now to the United States Senator. So I'm honored to be here.
So you're here, and I'm sure that you want to make a difference. And how are your priorities being set? What are you looking to do in your time here in Washington, D.C.?
Right. Well, as Lieutenant Governor, I traveled around the state of Montana listening to people, what's on their minds to find out, because I announced in October that I was running for the United States Senate and wanted to hear, what's on the minds of Montanans.
But did you have any idea that you would wind up getting an appointment when you announced in October?
No,
Mr. Baucus, I presume?
had no idea,
right.
Yeah, in my military career and as Lieutenant Governor, and I talked to young Montanans, I talked to them about making sure that they never close a door, and never close a door on an opportunity. And so I look at this as a terrific opportunity, that I was at the right place at the right time.
So what are their priorities? I mean, what are they saying to you? Are they talking about the Affordable Care Act? Are they talking about immigration? Are they talking about water policy, the military? What's on their minds?
Montana is a very diverse state. It's a large state. And so wherever I travel around the state, the issues seem to be a little different. I think jobs in our economy is very important to Montanans. Right now, we're exporting our #1 natural resource, and that's our young men and women who are graduating from college. They're having to leave the state to find a good paying job. So we want to do everything we can to make sure that those young men and women that are graduating from universities in Montana can stay in Montana if they choose to do so. And
what about the military? Like you said, you'd worked for the National Guard for 33 years. The military's in a precarious time right now. We're drawing down on 2 wars in the Middle East, but we have some issues going on, to say the least, in the Ukraine and otherwise.
Right.
Where do you go with trying to offer guidance to your colleagues when we look at military spending?
We've been at war, fighting 2 wars for about 13 years now, and so our men and women have made terrific sacrifices along with their families. So my #1 priority when it comes to veterans is making sure that the benefits that we've promised to our veterans and the benefits that they've earned are there for them and their families.
And we know that the VA has been backed up. It's been very frustrating throughout the nation. Folks that are coming home, they just need basic support, basic services, and the VA lines, metaphorically speaking, are out the door.
Yeah, that's another issue that I'm hearing. As I travel around to our universities, we have young veterans that are going back to school, that are having to use the VA healthcare system. We need to continue to improve the VA healthcare system.
I want to ask
broken.
about one specific sector of the veterans population, and that is those young men and women who are suffering from PTSD. I've interviewed a few of them, and it literally breaks my heart to see these very in shape, great-looking young men and women who are having difficulty even stringing a sentence together because they're so racked.
Right.
What about those folks?
Well, I commanded an infantry battalion in Iraq. We deployed for 18 months.
Wow.
Spent 6 months here in the United States, 12 months overseas. And I believe that every one of our servicemen and women that deploys overseas is coming home with some type of post-traumatic stress. May not be a long-term disorder.
Sure.
So we need to make sure that we have the psychological health providers.
Do we?
We do not at this time. That in Montana, Senator Tester and Senator Baucus worked hard to get a psychological health center at our VA, out at our Veterans Hospital in Helena. We weren't able to open it up for over a year after it was built because we didn't have the resources, the personnel to staff it.
He is the newest member from the great state of Montana. My name is Brad Pomerance. We thank you so much for joining us on Charter Local Edition.
All right, thanks, Brad. Appreciate it very much.